Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Jace Beleren Must Die. I'm Adam Coble. These are my friends. We're going to play some Dungeons & Dragons, but first I have to check and make sure. Carlos, are you okay?
I am okay,
Carlos.
Wait, are we singing My Chemical Romance?
No, but I'm worried about you because I saw on Twitter that you imbibed a dangerous beverage, and I'm worried about you.
Scared when I saw that tweet. I got so scared.
Are you going to be all right, buddy?
So, for anyone who didn't watch last week, Katie Mae loves Bang energy drinks. She gets them delivered to her apartment. She has the Bang energy drink costume that she wears probably every weekend when she gets to the club. So I tried one for the first time. What was it called? Unicorn something. I don't know. I don't know how you drink that. And like I'm not even saying like how people drink it, because I drink Red Bull. Like I drink energy drinks or whatever, but it was so sweet and stingy. I think stingy is the only word it's like stung. It stung my tongue and then hurt my throat. And then when it's in my stomach, it just felt like it was like disintegrating while it was there. I only drank like a couple sips and I was like, no, I can't drink anymore.
Bang sounds a lot like PCP. What happens?
Fair.
How do you know that?
Hey, man, we live storied lives.
Man,
Genuinely, I'm glad. No, Chicago's fine. I promise. It's a sweet thing.
It's really not. Please don't. Let's kill this rumor now.
Let me just head over to my alternate Twitter account, Tabletop Rumors. It's Tabletop Tea. It's my famous gossip blog about the tabletop tea streaming scene.
Are you Tabletop Tea? What?
Yeah, see, I'm the infamous.
I was just about to make a Gossip Girl reference, but then I think Katie Mae was like 3 when that show came out, so never mind.
I watched it. You're welcome. I watched Gossip Girl. I also read The It Girl. But it's actually so fucking weird. I was talking about reading that novel series, the little like prequel of Jenny Humphrey, because we were talking about the Click novelization series.
Oh.
Did you ever imbibe in the Click?
I'm aware of the brand, but I don't think I've ever been exposed to the media directly, which is probably for the best.
What is this? The Click?
Yes, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. Midwestern, affluent, white woman childhood, like middle school reading. There's 14 of them.
14.
And
it's like a Scholastic book club novel, but for corn baronesses.
The Corn Baronesses is a WASP-only specific book series with it follows the Pretty Committee is what they're called. And their political machinations.
What is this called? Click what?
It's called The Click. The first book was called The Click, right? Because it's titular. But the second one is called Best Friends for Never.
Fuck yeah. That's the name that's the new title of my emo album.
I was about to say, that sounds like a Dashboard Confessional song.
Yeah. The third one is Revenge of the Wannabes.
Wow.
What? Hold on.
It sounds like it's like Animorphs, but you turn into a jerk instead of an animal.
You just turn into a fucking shitty ass preteen. Like, because they're all like super rich and they go to like an all girls private school. And it's wild with hit titles like Invasion of the Boy Snatchers, The Pretty Committee Strikes Back, Dial L for Loser, It's Not Easy Being Mean. One personal favorite, Sealed with a Diss.
Sealed with a Diss.
It's so good. Brat Fest at Tiffany's.
Oh, why?
Wait, hold on.
Just write some original titles. Come on.
P.S. I loathe you. Jesus Christ.
It's so good.
There's so many in the series.
But do they learn something in the end? Because like,
I don't think.
There's no character growth.
I don't think so. One girl assimilates into the Pretty Committee after not being rich enough, I think is the plot. But
Does she
Well,
become
that's
rich? Is that how that works?
no,
on
they
her.
they learn that poor people can be fun too.
Oh, what a good lesson.
That's what a good
Oh,
lesson
that's-
to learn.
Man. Yeah,
Anyways,
it's a weird thing because like that's a pretty normal, like we've had series like that forever, right? Like the Babysitter's Club and like Encyclopedia Brown, which is like that but for nerds.
Boxcar Children.
Yeah, but I feel
yeah.
like putting out a series of books for teen girls that are like you have to be conventionally attractive and rich to be popular. Ooh,
Yeah.
dangerous business.
Dial L for loser. Jesus Christ.
got him. So good. Yeah. Anyways, made the mistake of reading those ones. I'm sure.
Hold on. This is my favorite one. Bratfest at Tiffany's.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
what kid is getting that joke though?
Well, the fun thing about that one, is that it's co-written by Mickey Rooney, and the whole thing is in like really embarrassing fake Japanese English. Yeah, it's really bad.
Ooh, good.
But like, oh my God, I just don't. Oh wow. Okay.
Yep. Writing was a mistake. We should never have done it.
That's why I never learned to read. I was just like, you know what? Probably shouldn't.
I think, yeah, at this point, I think you're probably doing okay. Though you're, for someone who can't read, you're doing a great job at Twitter and all the other things you need to be able to read to do.
She could just speak into her phone.
Voice to text.
But then how would you know? I mean, I guess you could figure out which app was Twitter, but then, I wonder.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I think you're giving her too much credit. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Define
Okay,
really good job at Twitter.
I mean, my congratulations there, where you're doing a thing that makes it look like you know how to read. So good job on that, at least.
Thank you.
She's no genius, guys. She can read, okay?
Now, I need to, before we move on, I need to make sure, because I feel like it would be a very difficult episode for all of us if I didn't point this out. TK, your hair looks great.
It does.
What a nice new cut.
Royalty.
Thank you.
amongst
Delightful. Chat, I am playing Diamond Dash, I think. I don't know. It's some kind of dumb kings. Since chat asked, sorry. Thank you for the compliment.
I don't understand why we're not more popular with the like early teen demographic, because it seems like that's all we talk about. It's like mobile games and energy drinks. Someone needs to have an opinion about vaping, and then we're good to go. So, yeah.
Hey,
I've
you know
never
what?
vaped. Have you guys vaped before? Like vaping, like where it's like I vaped, you know, the good stuff. But
So
You can say that.
it's good. It's good to know that
Real
Masood
loud.
isn't the only person who's done PCP in the chat.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
nice.
for,
Yeah.
thanks for clearing that up.
like I've never, you know how they're
Jesus
like
Christ.
people like it looks like a little like engine, like
Yeah.
they have the engine ones, and they're like, and then they do the spiral things and like stuff like. Has anyone ever done
If
one
I
of
said
those?
yes, if I said yes right now, would you think I was cool?
No.
I would have a lot of questions. So
I
if
can't
it was,
answer
if
any of
it
those.
was,
Yeah,
No,
'cause
that
you're
one
like
I wouldn't hold up,
17.
no.
I can
If it-
field a few questions here. I have
If-
friends in my life who are
I-
and family in my life who are extensive
Yeah.
vape nation.
Yeah. I also have some vapors in my life as well. So, yep.
so like
the
big-
engine is actually called a rig.
Yeah, or a mod box. There's lots of
mod box.
there's lots of fun
Oh.
terminology to learn.
Or
Why?
a battery. Yeah.
The closest I've ever been to vaping was hookah, so I don't know.
It's pretty much the same
anything.
thing as far as I understand
Kind
it.
of, yeah.
Is it
Just a little
like
more synthetic.
shooting the smoke inside your lungs, or do you have to like?
You are
The audience
you are
at home, I'm
inhaling,
pulling
it's
out
vaporizing
Merge
the
Dragon.
liquid, and then it's creating a smoke that, due to an
Why is
induction-based
everyone
heating.
Hold on, why is everyone laughing?
It's just like
The machine is so big, like a vape pen is like this big, right? And I'm like, and I'm done. But their machines are like, oh, I'm gonna vape right now. And so I thought it's like pushing the air.
Vaping didgeridoo.
It's not a fog machine. Though it
No.
looks like it. It's not.
It's an industrial grade fog machine like you'd find at a concert.
I think that's an okay question to ask.
It is,
because-
you know,
It is.
we're not
It
laughing.
totally
We're not
is.
laughing at the question, Carlos. We're laughing at the way you phrased it. Does it shoot
Well-
vaping into your lungs.
Well, I'm laughing at the way Carlos asked, just because
Yeah.
it's like when you ask about things, you do it with like just this purity.
That's true.
Oh.
That's true.
I really appreciate that.
There's an animated GIF from like the first episode of Carlos saying "What's a maid cafe," and the facial expression is exactly the same. So
because you spend the entire time like smiling and just like, yes, I know what's happening, and so I'm just like counting down the seconds until you finally like crack and go like, I don't know what Pokemon is, guys.
The vaping thing is
What's
a real question
Animal
though, because like,
Crossing?
why are the things so big? Like, why are they
batteries is why, because the metal piece that heats up the vape goo has to be really hot, and so you need two, like usually one or two big ass batteries in there, and that's all that's in the thing. It's just because I've asked that same question myself.
I've just been imagining like Carlos doing like a whole vape bit, but like a Jerry Seinfeld, like what?
What's the deal? And picks up like a comically large water bottle in the middle.
Yeah, I already put vape on the water bottle beforehand. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never done it before. I want to. It just
You really.
it just seems more fun than anything, right?
Carlos, do you currently smoke?
Medicinal. No, I don't.
Don't pick it up as an alternative. Don't do it. There's so much nicotine in it. It's like it's really
Well, from what I understand is that it's variable. Like you can get zero nicotine. Like I think you're right, Carlos. My impression is that people do it because it's fun to blow big smoke clouds. But then you have to obfuscate it in all this technical jargon, so it doesn't seem like you're just essentially blowing bubbles, but as an adult. Which you should be allowed to do. You should be allowed to just have fun making big weird clouds of candy smelling stuff. But
it's like the smoking version of paintball.
It
right?
is, yeah.
Like,
I heard someone describe it as bubble tea for your lungs, which I was like, okay,
well,
sure.
But like I imagine people get like, I mean, the thing that like makes me want to try it is the gizmos and gadgets. It's like learning the brands and like learning the pieces and like
the goggles. It's
more
the goggles
power.
and gears.
Yeah, it's like when two photographers meet each other in a media. It's like, so what aperture is that lens?
Yeah.
Is that a V1 or a V2?
It's
Some
weird and sexy.
It's a gear thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Katie, I totally cut you off. Go on.
No, you're good. I was thrilling vape
No. You were gonna tell an embarrassing story about high school. I was ready for it.
Yeah.
Oh, that we had a tiny vape pen that was zero nicotine and it was peach flavored and it was like the contraband thing backstage at the senior show. The Scientology High.
Yeah. Vaping with the drama kids at Scientology High. This is actually legitimately like a great TV show, this concept.
I'm sorry, did you say a vape pen?
Vape pen.
Yeah.
As in a single one that you all shared?
Hey, listen, coronavirus wasn't a thing yet. No one was getting sick.
Are you fucking kidding?
We hadn't invented diseases.
Y'all are nasty.
I actually got mono in kindergarten from kissing too many boys, and that's
whoa.
Weird flex, but okay.
You nasty Katie May.
Out here.
But enough about last summer.
I mean, we already knew that Katie May was a badass child. What with the high kicks and what have you.
Armed cross.
I was just a really feral kid, okay?
I'm kissing you now.
Smoking, smooching, kissing. Man.
Have I told you guys about the pretty people story?
No, but
please.
Okay.
What
so
are
my family was in San Francisco for some reason, and these stories, like as a wine pairing, really encapsulate my early childhood. And I had snuck into like one of the really big Macy's stores, and I had snuck into one of the displays that was street facing.
Okay, sure, yeah.
And I was like, I was a very cute child, and so I was like doing very cutesy things like in the display window, and I had like gathered a crowd.
Yeah.
And it was my first performance high, and I had the largest child ego trip of my whole life. And eventually my parents found me and they brought me back to the hotel, but I was just on this fucking like next level, like, yes, I'm a star. We walked up to the elevator and there was this nice elderly couple and they were about to press the button to go up, and I stepped out in front of them. I turned and I went, pretty people get to go first, and I
Katie May.
Savage.
I wish I could have watched your parents whoop your ass.
Yeah, for real though.
May.
It's one of those child whippings that like you want to pop back around the corner for, like.
Oh
you know,
my
and you know
God.
what? You really showed those old uggos.
That's right.
She did it for the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been
Hell
so
yeah.
great at TikTok if it had been that time.
Oh man.
That's
You know that you could still make a TikTok out of that, and it would probably still work.
Pretty people get
Right
to
now.
go first. Oh.
right, the worst.
Oh,
I was
I
a
would've
terrible child.
Oh, just a
I was
monster.
not
I
good.
love it.
I was a fucking maniac.
What a blessing.
There's something very special about the sociopathy of a child. Yeah, very impressive. I think I'm really glad that you've improved since then, Katie May. Thank you.
Yeah.
I haven't, but thank you.
Enough about last summer.
Raised on ClickBooks. Just like
Sorry that this is a very
the
I'm
highest
so sorry
self-esteem.
So sorry, this was like a feral walk through my childhood.
You know, when I was growing up,
sorry.
When I was growing up, they made us read about boxcar kids. That was the life I thought I was gonna lead.
They were homeless and then achieved something, you know?
I actually have like a really dumb story about the Boxcar Children book series.
Let's hear it.
When I was a kid, you know, accelerated reader program.
Yeah.
No. I don't.
Cool.
I comprehend can't.
So for this accelerated reader program, my school, you know, they did like the pizza party and everything if you got 100% and things like that throughout a certain reading time span. And so I realized that first of all, the tests are very easy if you take the same tests for the same books every reading period, and that the tests are very easy if you just memorize all the answers.
I mean, that's a form of reading.
Yeah.
So I memorized
learning.
I memorized the tests for all of the Boxcar Children series.
Nice.
Oh my God.
And
So you
always
just-
had 100%.
That is shrewd as hell, though. Like, you could read the book and then do the test, or you could just do the test and know the answers and eschew all the rest of the book.
Yeah, I did that for 3 years.
Nice. I'm actually very impressed. That's a good way to game the
Fourth
system.
grade,
If I were a
fourth
teacher and a
grade
kid
through
did that, I'd be like,
sixth grade.
congratulations, you figured out the BS of the test and you've bypassed it. Good.
This will help you in life, actually.
Yeah, right, exactly. Doing things the way you're told didn't work. You found a better, smarter way to do it, that's some galaxy brain shit. Good job.
The problem is that like I don't remember a single thing from the books. But I do remember one of the test questions, which was, what did like the older boy character give to somebody for their birthday? And the answer is a necklace. And that's all I remember from dozens of Boxcar Children books.
Yeah.
I spent all of 3rd grade failing the Boxcar Children tests instead of reading the Boxcar Children books so that I could pass for 3 more years.
Well, but that shows a really early and very intense understanding of how education works. Like, you're not actually encouraged to learn anything, you're just memorizing shit. So I feel like you won at being a kid. Good job.
Yeah, for being tested for just absurd things.
Yeah.
And chat, I would have done it for Harry Potter, but Harry Potter was outlawed on my accelerated reading list until I was in high school. So
On account of the witchcraft?
on account of the Satan.
Yeah. My high school also had a problem with the Satan. Definitely not allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons at my high school. which just made it cooler. It just made me more excited about it. I was like, oh, so you hate it and Satan loves it? Yeah, I think I'm going to be playing some more of this game. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't mind if I do.
Have to read the book Stargirl in high school?
No.
Oh.
They're making it into a film right now.
I say, isn't that a The Weeknd song?
It might be.
I don't know who that is.
It's basically what I've always deemed, and I'm working on a bit about the birth of the manic pixie dream girl fascination.
Yeah, I saw this trailer.
I
saw this trailer. Yeah.
They're finally making a movie based on this book, and I really think like this was the book that like started it all. Yeah. In terms of like a source of inspiration for the character archetype.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost comical, like how like that the trailer. Anyone go ahead watch that trailer for Stargirl. It's like it almost looks like an Onion trailer about like the manic pixie girl, right?
I went back recently and watched the trailer for Garden State, and it looks like a parody. Like it doesn't look like a real film. You're like, cool, it's Zach Braff making fun of him. Nope, this is where he got started. This is real. All of this is actually happening. Yeah.
I did like Garden State though when it came.
I know I did too, and I have a deep well of shame.
The soundtrack is good. I don't know what to say. Imogen Heap, Fro, the same person but different names. I know that now.
Yeah.
Garden State.
Katie May, Garden State was a film that came out.
I've seen it.
Shut up, Grandpa.
I actually like it whenever like Katie May gets pop culture references that I don't, because people will explain it to Katie May and I could just like listen while playing phone games and pretend like I knew the whole time. I don't even know who Zach Braff is.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that sounds like an actor that goes to places that have movie theaters.
He wrote a play called All New People, and it starts with a man trying to hang himself to bagpipe music.
So,
I mean, that's
I definitely
response to bagpipe
new theater,
music.
I definitely think that's the thing people think of when they think of Zach Braff. Renowned playwright Zach Braff.
Sorry. He also was the Scrubs man.
Yeah, he's in Scrubs, yeah.
Him and his friendship with Donald Faison is internet legendary,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Great.
Watch Scrubs.
He's a white person's white person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, is he which white person in Scrubs is he? Is he the funny one or is he the one with the hair?
That one with the hair.
Oh.
Yeah.
The man-child character, yes.
Ew.
Yes, yeah. He was in
Appletinies.
He was in BoJack Horseman too.
He was. He recently had a few spots, yeah.
I haven't seen that show. Everyone loves it. Is it good?
It's hard to watch.
Everyone loving it is why I haven't seen it yet. I'm scared.
It came out when it first came out. I loved it. I don't think I could go back and rewatch the first couple seasons, but the arc is nice. I think like from start to finish, what they do with it, and also it's beautiful animation. Like they touch. Yeah, okay, I'll say it. I like the show.
Yeah, right. It sounds like you reconvinced yourself.
Distancing myself from people who are like BoJack Horseman stans. Which is the same thing with like Rick and Morty.
I feel like it's. Yeah, I was about to say it's like you could get the impression that it's like Rick and Morty because people talk about it in the same way, but it's way smarter and like in a way that isn't obnoxious. Like it's pretty good. Yeah,
and sincere. A lot more sincere, I think.
Yeah, it's a good show. I like it, but also it's hard to watch. It's sad in like a very painful way.
Yeah, I don't want to watch sad stuff.
Yeah.
It's very if you're like it's very life crisisy, especially with you like moving right to LA. I would say maybe like wait.
Yeah.
They're murder.
That's a good point.
It kind of. Yes, there is
stuff.
But it's
Graphic
goofy.
murder?
It's goofy and fun.
Oh.
Unlike most murders, I guess. Well, you know what we have a surfeit of, and that's goofy fun murdering. So it's as good a segue as any. We're not going to find a better one.
Segue.
Let's play some Dungeons and Dragons. So
Wait.
last time we played, Torgor, Rode, and ultimately, when it came down to it, Winnegar had all escaped from Nivix, more or less unharmed, but not Tack. Tack remained. Now, Tack, you had all the secret documents hidden in a duct in the storage room by way of Atrax, and Atrax is guarding them for you, or for someone to come and retrieve. And you, I think, get carted away to Is It Prison. Now, you've been arrested so far by 2 of the guilds, so it's 2 down. You got a few more to go. You can keep working on getting arrested.
Okay, I know I've been arrested by the Azorius at least twice. What was the other one I was arrested by?
The Is It now, just this moment.
Okay, and I guess the Boros don't count because we put ourselves in that.
Yes,
cell.
yeah. Breaking into jail isn't the same as being arrested, so you're good.
You're
on
right.
That one. So yeah, I think we start with Tak being unceremoniously thrown into a cell. And it's in a hallway somewhere under Nivix. Right, we're seeing the same kind of general set. There's some glowing tubes in the ceiling serving to light the hallway. But your cell is just a concrete box, a square box. And instead of bars, there is a lightning barrier. So you get thrown in by these 2 Is It, and then one of them pulls a switch, and a thin sheet of crackling blue and red mana kind of springs up in front of you and obscures the hallway. You can still kind of see through it, but it's this crackling energy field, and you're thrown into this room.
I want to touch it.
Okay, yeah, immediately just run up to the. Okay.
Not run up, but like I just want to.
Yeah.
Give it a
just
little.
Test it a little. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely electrified, and it feels solid. Right, like it feels as though it were a wall, but it's made out of zapping, and so you test at it. Cool. And as your guards walk away, you hear a voice from inside the cell. You hear, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And if you turn around,
I would like to slowly and dramatically turn my head.
Right. So you see that there is another prisoner in here. He's wearing tall leather boots. He has a leather vest and a kind of puffy, like piratey looking shirt on. He has,
sounds hot.
He has
liking it.
Dark red skin. So you match in that way. He's laying down on the stone cot that's coming out of the wall, and he's got his arms folded behind him, and his feet up, and he's leaned up against the wall. And he's dark red skin. He has a little, like a Van Dyke, I guess is the name of the kind of beard he has.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with it.
And then he has 2 long red horns coming up out of the top of his head, right in front of his hair. And he looks over you. He's like, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
What does the hairline look like?
It's probably a bit of a widow's peak because he's got the horns here where his hairline would normally be, so it kind of comes down a little bit inside, and then his hair is quite long and black, and it's tied into a ponytail.
Sideburns or nah?
I don't think so. I think there's really only room in this cell for one person with giant sideburns, and you've already got that covered. So
yeah, I'm just trying to make sure he's not trying to hone in on my territory.
Yeah. I mean, you have some stylistic synergy going on, but not. Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so I'm a drink up this tall glass of Kool-Aid for a second, and then just be like, will I die if I touch this?
I don't know. You want to find out?
I was trying to.
Well then, by all means.
I want to touch it.
Okay.
But I want to maintain eye contact.
Ooh, bold move. Okay. So you're just looking at him.
See if it pans out, Cotton.
Yeah, so do you, when you touch it, same thing, like a jolt of electricity surges through you, and it does hurt. Do you just keep your finger on the field and just stare at him?
Have you ever revved an engine while next to like a girl on a sidewalk trying to get her to look at you and be like, oh, they're dangerous?
Yeah, it's like that, but you're electrocuting yourself.
Yeah, I'm prison catcalling him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, why don't you make a Constitution saving throw to see if you can withstand long enough to impress him? Let's see how you do. Fingers crossed for Tak here. It's a perfect time for us to lose TK too. It's good. There we go.
My internet blipped. Sorry.
No, it was good. It was very intense for about 2 seconds. I was like, Okay. So yeah, go ahead and make
Just
that.
changed my mind, I guess.
Yeah, make that Constitution save, and we'll figure it out. But I mean, when you go to put your hand on it, he just raises an eyebrow, like, "Wow, you're either very brave or very stupid. Let's see how this goes."
Hey.
17. Okay.
See how it plays out,
17.
Cotton.
So
You think I don't do stupid shit like this on the daily?
Right.
Joke's on you, son.
So yeah, you put your hand on it and you feel the jolt of electricity flow through you. You don't pull your hand away. You just stand there until eventually your skin starts to sizzle a little, like steam starts coming off of you.
My sideburns just stand straight out.
Yeah, and he gets up and he walks over and he smacks your hand away from the barrier and he's like, "Okay,
It's a date. I'll take it.
okay. You're tough. I'm very impressed. What's your name?"
Tack. What's this? What is this? Who are you?
He puts his hand out like to shake yours. And you see that he has like long, sharp black fingernails.
Okay, appreciation for the crack nails.
And you notice behind him that there is a long, thin red tail with a little spade-shaped end that's sort of like flicking back and forth. And I think, there's a lot of different kinds of people in Ravnica, but generally speaking, they fall into several categories. This person is not something you've ever seen before.
Yeah, I was just thinking that I don't think that tieflings are like a big thing in Ravnica.
Yeah, I don't think there are. Like, there's no Dragonborn and there's no tieflings in Ravnica. So
there's probably not a lot of plane touched.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he puts his hand out, and you do you shake his hand?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah,
Tack doesn't shake a lot of hands, so it's very awkward. There's like a lot of like grabbing the thumb.
Well, I think you go to reach for it.
Ship.
You go to reach for it, and a jolt of electricity jumps from your hand to his, right? Because you're still all static charged out. And he pulls his hand back. He's like, he shakes his hand. He says,
"You okay there, buddy?"
He nods. He says, Tybalt.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's a lot of syllables, but I'll try and go with it.
And he nods and looks at you and he says, "So, what are you doing down here?"
I tried to steal some stuff, didn't get away with it.
And he nods. He says, "I know how that goes."
Did you also try to steal some stuff?
He kind of rubs his chin. He's like, the exact legality of my behavior is up for some debate. But
all right, did you allegedly try to steal some stuff?
Jury's out. I didn't manage it, so I think I wound up in the wrong neighborhood. These people, he kind of makes a face. They're not my people. You know much about this place?
Well, the door's made of lightning. And they got these pew-pews shoot fire. That's great. And then I just relay like all the basic crap that I know about just like Izzets in general.
Yeah.
Because I'm 100% sure that Winnegar like told us everything we needed to know about this place, and I'm also 100% sure that Tack wasn't listening.
Can you make an insight check for me while you're telling this?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I got 16.
Damn, you're on fire. All right, 16. So it's clear that this rakish stranger is he's listening to you describe something that should be basic information for anybody around here, right? Like this would be like me saying, like telling you like what America is. Like it's basic like grade school level information about the Izzet League that anybody should know. And he's listening to you like he's never heard it before, right? Like you say a proper noun and he'll be like, hold on. Can you say that again? Like who are you talking about? What is this person? And so you give him some basic info and he nods and he's like, yeah. I definitely ended up in the wrong neighborhood. That's a shame.
Yeah, we're a little far from the Rakdos.
Yeah.
That is a test.
Yeah, he does that like, yeah, For sure, we definitely are. Like them or that or
West
whatever
side,
you just said,
buddy. Haha.
Yeah. So he
Am
says,
I right?
He says, yeah, probably would have had a better chance over there.
Yeah, definitely. You know how they are. Their prisons are like way easier to break out of.
And he nods, and he's clearly like rolling over some stuff in his head, and he says, so what were you trying to steal?
Some bomb stuff.
Nice. Nice.
You're from pretty far away, aren't you?
He shrugs. He's like, I'm from a lot of places. I travel.
Mm-hmm. Where were you last?
He kind of squints at you. He's like, here and there. But I'm more interested in having a conversation about getting out of this place. I got things to do. And normally, it'd be real easy. But something's going on. Something ain't right. I can't just get out of here. I don't know what it is. It's making me feel a little nervous. You know what I mean? So maybe you and I, we can help each other.
Yeah, that happens to one of my friends all the time. He could just whatever. And then, after a while, he just needs to sleep for like 8 hours and it's back.
And he raises his eyes and he's like, oh yeah? You know somebody who can travel like that?
Yeah. He could like pop in and out whenever he wants, but then he gets tired and he has to take a nap.
Well, how about this? I help you get out of here, and you introduce me to this friend of yours.
Didn't you just say you needed help getting out of here?
He says, well, I can't just make it happen, but I still got some tricks up my sleeve.
Yeah, and so like Tack starts like pacing in front of the electric door and is like talking to themselves the entire time, just like, we could kill him. We could just push his body through the door and see whether or not that makes a bigger like hole in the door, and maybe we could get out that way. But that doesn't make sense. What if it doesn't work? Then we just have a random body for no reason. I like those boots though, but they're not gonna fit me. I'm too short. And it's like walking back and forth that they finally like turn and they're deal.
Excellent. Well, as you can see, we don't have a lot to work with. And he gestures at the empty room. But if they haven't come and questioned you yet, maybe you get a chance to look around, figure out how this thing works. Do some recon.
Did they already question you?
He nods. He says, yeah, at length. But I have the feeling none of my answers were satisfactory.
Torture or not?
Oh, I wish. No, I think they were trying to bore me to death.
Nice. This will be easy.
Yeah.
And
Tack
is a little disappointed at no torture.
Yeah, right. So is he. And so he goes and sits back down, and he pats the stone bench that he was laying on before he pats it. And he's like, while we wait for your jailers to come and take you away for questioning, why don't you come over here and sit down next to me and tell me everything you know about this place?
Tack absolutely does that.
Yeah.
Tack's like,
okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay. All right. So you go and sit down, and while and I think the scene kind of as we fade out, because there's lots of like recap time where Tack explains Ravnica to Tybalt. But as the two of you are sitting, we notice his tail comes around behind you and just like rests on your shoulder, and then the little leaf on the end just kind of like traces back up and down on your neck while you're talking. And he kind of just leans in like very
dare
intently.
you attack me in this way? How dare you? I get arrested and you're just like, oh, I've got something for you.
That's right. Yeah. This is the episode where Tack gets a prison boyfriend.
Oh no, he is cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
I think
read that. Don't read
he
that
a hottie
Wikipedia
with a
article,
body.
Maybe
What?
wait until after. Maybe wait until after to read the Wikipedia article.
It's
What I
okay.
gotta say
I'm
about
just
that
looking
one.
at pictures of him being hot.
Yeah, just do that.
That's fair. Yeah.
He a cutie. I love him.
Yeah, he
there's-
definitely belongs in a screamo band.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
He
We
looks like the
encountered
type
him.
of boy, like with his undercut and everything, he definitely looks like the type of boy that would convince me to make so many bad decisions.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and what's
He
great is
buttons
that he already.
the top of his collar too, right? Like that's
Oh, he's living that top shelf life.
yeah.
How dare you?
It's literally like the merit of a DM skill is like the ability to know what will make your players make terrible decisions.
100%. I was like, did you just describe my ex-boyfriend? Oh my god, I wasted 2 years on that guy.
I could
Should
fix him.
spend the night in jail with him.
He definitely has bass player face hair.
No,
like,
don't use that picture. That's not the cute one. Use the other one.
this is just
use
the
the-
most
the
up
word
to
that
date one.
sparks
But there are some others as well. If you want to go look it up, his name is Tybalt.
Oh, he's hot.
But yeah, so the two
And
of you.
I think it's a vote for hot is I'm locking. I'll lock in my vote.
we have two.
And
we
the
have
thing
two
is
for hot.
that like Tybalt is my favorite character in Romeo and Juliet too.
Oh,
Like was
yes,
one of my
absolutely.
first like big crushes. So
Mhm.
like the moment I saw, not that I'm reading the chat on purpose, but the moment I saw people in chat being like, "Oh my god, is this Tybalt?" I was like, I don't know who that is.
Was Tybalt John Leguizamo?
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
how dare you judge me?
I'm not. That was back when John Leguizamo was like.
Yeah,
like,
he was a
going
cutie,
for it.
He was
and
like
he
a
was
hot
wearing
dude
like
in an- yeah.
he was wearing like that 5 o'clock shadow in it, and he
Mhm.
shoots Mercutio, who is my other favorite.
I'm pretty sure that this Tybalt is at least in part inspired by John Leguizamo's performance in that film. So yes, that makes
I love
sense.
him.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Okay.
The
So
moment
you
that I saw chat say Tybalt, I was like, it's done. I
like it's over.
love him.
We're good now.
I don't care how
okay.
you describe him.
So
He's my
the
husband.
two of you spent some time chatting, and we fade out.
Mm-hmm.
We fade out on that, and when we fade back in, Torgor and Rode, you went to the host in the shell after dropping Rourke off after his dentist appointment, right? So you left him at the secret bakery, and then
We cleaned.
Winnegar after that's right. So Winnegar after you went on your quick journey through the multiverse and arrived back in an alley somewhere. Do you head back to the host as well?
Yeah. I
Okay,
head
so
back to the host right away.
let's frame this scene as Torgor and Rode are finishing cleaning, or maybe you've already finished. It's daytime now. Gary is here. Gary's like getting the store ready. Probably very excited about how clean everything is. Like really thankful. Like, you know, he's having a great day because he showed up at work and his friends showed up early and cleaned up, and he's so happy about that. And then Winnegar, you arrive to this scene, and the storm of the night before has continued all the way through. It's there's still wind and rain and thunder all throughout Ravnica, but concentrated over Nivix especially. So you come in, Winnegar, and I assume that this is a kind of like slam the door open and there's lightning and rain and you're soaked and like
Yeah, and he's exhausted. Like
Yeah.
he is absolutely exhausted. I think like the first thing he does is like starts like he's like, "I'm here. It's Winnegar. Don't worry. I need a nap." And like he starts like because he's been up for like 2 days.
2 days
I wanna
straight,
say.
pretty much. Yeah.
2 days
Yeah.
straight.
So what's great is the first person to greet you, like when you come in, Gary is standing there in his
Oh,
apron
no.
and his little maid hat. And he's
Aw.
like, "Oh, hey, Winnegar. Oh, you look rough. Do you need a coffee? Let me get you something." And he comes over to like take your coat.
Take this, take that. I'm just like loading it up on him. Just like these
pile of
boots need to
stuff.
be polished. Shine these out. I'm just like in my
Your
almost
skivvies now.
yeah. I'm just in like these heart underwear, heart boxers.
Well, I was about to say, is this the part where you get to see all of Winnegar's sick prison tattoos?
Oh yeah, it's just like all tatted up, like all traditional, like Ravnica traditional, old school Ravnica traditional.
Oh
So it's just like,
A couple of sparrows holding a banner that says, "Is it life?" on it.
oh, with the question mark at the end. Is it life? Who knows? We don't know if this is real.
I like to
Held
think that
out.
Winnegar's
No.
tattoos would all be like
I
what you call them, the fractal art, the geometric fractal art.
Oh, he's got that's on one sleeve for sure.
His abs, there's like 24 of them somehow, and all of them are labeled a different element periodically.
He's definitely got like a Fibonacci sequence on like a bicep.
That he regrets. He completely regrets it. Like, yeah.
Man.
He's like, oh, I was so young.
So Gary gets loaded up with all of Whitaker's stuff, and is probably mumbling from behind a big pile of wet clothes, saying things like, "Well, I gotta open the store, but okay, let me get a list." And he goes like, puts things on, starts writing like, take boots to polish, launder, outfit, and so he's making all these notes. And Rode and Torgor, you're in the back, having just finished cleaning up. And you hear this commotion in the other room.
Mm.
I said, do not let Tack come in here without a solemn promise that they are going to keep it clean. This is what's happening this time.
You know what? That's impossible. Why would you even ask that of me to get that out of Tack? That's never gonna happen.
You're on the don't kill list. I'm not on the don't kill list. So
Hey.
you get to make it happen.
She doesn't respect weakness. I can tell you that much. They do not respect weakness.
They do not think I am weak.
I
They
mean,
would,
you're kind of asking me to speak on your behalf. That,
Oh.
I'm gonna go say hi. And,
I'm gonna go say hi.
Yeah.
Wait to beat. I'm gonna go say hi.
Right, so Torgor, you come out of the back room and into the main cafe, and you see Gary holding a pile of Winnegar's wet clothes, and you see Winnegar looking strung out.
Oh, buddy. First off,
Torgor, what's going on, my man?
getting you to bed. That's what's happening. Come on. Also, where are the supplies and tack?
It's a long story, but the short of it is I didn't get them, and I barely got out alive. I'm hoping Tack makes it, but we will deal with that in the AM, my friend. Away.
Okay. There's actually a clean room for you to sleep in. And I lead him to our room.
Clean room, dirty room, doesn't matter to me right now. Ooh, look at this bed. Oh, what is this? Fresh sheet? Are you using Gain again? Ooh, yeah.
So
That's just the couch. You're sick.
Yeah, right. So Rode, you're still in the room when
You're an Arm and Hammer family.
when Torgor and Winnegar come back. So Winnegar, you see the room is cleaner than maybe you've ever seen it before. There is no pastry crusted on the ceiling. There's a total absence of crumbs. It looks as clean as any of the other rooms that's not being used as a secret hideout. And you see Rode, I assume, having a celebratory glass of wine on the couch.
God, but it's 9 a.m. I'm not. I can't.
Are you sure? Would you like to make a saving throw or something to figure out if that's true?
Celebratory
Hey.
bottle of wine.
Having a
I
point
drank,
energy
like,
drink
all
is the
that-
proper choice at this time.
I drank all that champagne with what's his face with Rourke. I'm just finally getting sober. We'll find out. Constitution, do we think?
I mean, there's a lot of options here. You can make a deception check against yourself to claim that you don't need a drink.
Wisdom saving throw against your
wisdom
personal
save to try to
addiction.
resist.
Yeah.
Oh, but
yeah.
right above acrobatics or right below acrobatics, alcoholism. Just go that one.
Weird, the unsung hero of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, the alcoholism skill. Yeah.
They're really concentrating on social this time.
It might even be survival. You might even be making a survival.
Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons 6th edition, where your skills are bang energy. All right, sure.
A cup of noodle.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll plus.
Bang energy.
Would you like to
Cup of
use
noodles.
chill for this stat or hang for this stat? Which of these?
Well, you're not going to be using wife, so
Roll plus Pop Tarts. It looks like you got a delicious table result.
All right. So this is a +5 Wendy's.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good. So so you see Rode either drinking or not drinking as befits Rode's preferences.
Drinking orange juice. I can't be
Okay.
a bad inspiration to the kids.
what's the
And
what's the
vinegar-
orange juice champagne ratio for this one?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, a
It's
road.
just prosecco.
A road mimosa is a glass of champagne next to an orange.
Yes,
It's a glass of
exactly.
champagne in an orange glass.
Yeah.
I like it.
Perfect. Great.
Yeah, road mimosa. So so that's what you see whenever you come back. There's no sign of, and I don't remember if you told Winnegar this or not, right? You said like we're gonna take Rourke somewhere safe, but there's no sign of Rourke. It's clear that Rourke's not around anywhere in this vicinity, Winnegar. I don't know if you care anymore, but
Where's the stuff?
Where's what stuff? Oh, yeah, I gotta explain this again. Torgo, fill her in, and I just like my head goes down on the pillow, like I'm not answering right now. I'm trying to go.
just knocked out instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's been a long time. Yeah, so Winnegar just lies down, rolls over, and just goes to sleep.
Well,
But I'm listening. I'm like I'm half awake, but I'm listening to them. You know what it's like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll just relay back. Apparently he wasn't able to get the things. Tack is maybe coming back with them. It seemed like there was a scuffle. Yeah,
so Tack has them?
maybe.
Not exactly sure. Some bad stuff went down. It always works out. It'll be fine.
That's not how this works. We usually have to fix all of
Actually,
our
yeah.
mistakes. So if you
That's-
made mistakes and we need to fix them, you need to tell me what mistakes you made.
And all you hear very softly is, if you made mistakes, we Very softly.
Torgor instantly goes to hold Road back in that moment.
Okay. Fine. You seem very tired and I'm compassionate now. So you need like an hour sleep and then we can talk about
Silence
this.
is compassion to Road, and then he puts the pillow over his head.
Okay. So like an hour, Torgor? Do we feel like that's enough resting time or
I mean, to be honest, I could use 8. I haven't really slept that much either, and this seems. I was gonna take a nap, but to be honest, cleaning seemed to be much more important.
Yes, thank you for your help. I wouldn't have been able to reach the cupcakes. So
No, of course not.
I guess I can go back to work? Question mark. That sounds. I don't want to do that.
Oh,
but
Yeah, I mean, you do
I
have
play.
you do both technically have cover identities to maintain.
Yeah.
So
we're both very busy people.
oh God, it's the worst. You're like, cool, I just got back from my night job. I could sleep, or nope, gotta go to my day job.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is an option. Like if Winnegar, if you want to get your 8 hours and then Road, you want to put on your lawyer outfit and go lawyer and
Yeah, do I have to
Torgor.
fucking go to work?
I mean,
Monday?
if you don't, they'll notice, right? That will endanger your your cover
I
identity.
guess I'll fucking go to work. Jeez.
Woof.
Same.
Okay, all right.
Someone's gotta. I'm just looking forward to making another one of these performances.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do that. So Road, why don't you pick a skill that represents you doing your fake Azorius job. So pick a skill that you want to use. It could be deception, it could be persuasion,
Yeah, I'll
whatever you
pick
think.
Deception.
Yeah, whatever you think that it should be. And you can roll that to see how your lawyer day goes. And then same as we've been doing, Torgor. So far you've had a critical failure and a critical success on writing your play. So it's been kind of all over the place. But you go back to Rick's Mahdi and go and try to clean up the writing team. So Road, why don't we have you roll first?
Me first? Cool.
Yeah.
27.
Nice.
Ah, damn. Turns out you're a great fake lawyer.
I remembered that it was Cheryl's birthday and I got everyone to sign a card. It was a
I love-
masterpiece.
I love the idea that because your job, your cover identity isn't to actually do a job. There is no such like lawyer as Road Medusa. Like you don't actually have a job, but your job is to go to the office and make everyone think you work there. So you never actually do anything. You don't go to court cases, but you walk around with file folders a lot and like, yeah, bring in cookies for somebody's birthday. And everybody just assumes you have a job here, but it's really about infiltrating. Okay, you did great. You got 27. So while you're doing this, because you're a Dimir infiltrator, you can access like records, you can eavesdrop, like you can ask me some questions about things the Azorius might know, and I can tell you if you can learn them. So while you're doing this, is there anything you want to pick up? Any information, any files you take a look at? Maybe you shouldn't.
I want to figure out why Rourke got arrested.
Oh, you want to find out Rourke's like pre-crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think with a 27, that's totally reasonable. Yeah. So you go down to the archives office and you dig through them, pretending to be looking for files for another job, but you find Rourke's Azorius file. Do you read it here and then put it back, or do you try to sneak it out with you?
I read it here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Rourke's had a pretty troubled past. He has a few kind of minor infractions like as a kid. So he was arrested several times early on in his life for the kind of stuff that people assume that guildless people do all the time, like stealing and vandalism, and basically he was just like a shitty teenager. And then there's a period where he never got into any trouble really. He sort of disappears off the record for a while. And then there's this most recent one. It comes from, there's a separate document. It's from the Department of Precognition. And it says that he is, I don't want to say destined because that's not necessarily the case, but using Azorius technical jargon, it explains that he was going to make essentially a weapon of mass destruction. He was building a magical bomb for the intent of terrorism. And then there's reference to the precog archives where they store basically like versions of the visions, so you can go and see them. But that is well above and beyond your pay grade. But apparently they have a recording of the actual event as seen through the eyes of the precog council. So that's above and beyond kind of what you have access to. But it looks like, yeah, Rourke was going to be arrested for making something like incredibly dangerous, terribly violent, that would lead to a lot of people being hurt or killed. And then I guess the last sort of status was that Rourke evaded capture and is on a list of like, basically there's an APB out for Rourke now, related to the murder of 2 Azorius officers. Like he's been escalated to, yeah. So the ones, because there were how many of them? There were 3 total.
Oh, did we kill 2? I thought we only killed 1. All
right.
right.
We killed 1 as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't quite match up with your memory of the event. I think there's probably a few other little like inconsistencies. Something about the record is there's no clear evidence it's been tampered with, but the official story is a bit different than what you remember.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's right. You killed 1, but 1 escaped, but apparently both of them are dead. And you see on the thing like the names of the officers, and it says here that Rourke killed both of them.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Killed them both and escaped.
That's no good. All right. Fun. Okay. I put it back. Oh God. All right. Yeah, and then I just continue to pretend to walk around and avoid my sister. This is what work is like.
That's right. Yeah, because and we had talked about how like even if she saw you, like you've been instructed to avoid her, but even if she saw you, she might not recognize you, right? Like because her brain's also been Dimir scrambled.
Yes. Okay,
but yeah, you managed to avoid her and do your job and attend 3 different birthday meetings and yeah. Okay, cool. So Torgor, you go back to Rick's Mahdi, and I think it's pretty much business as usual over here, right? A lot of the other guilds are going through like massive tumult, but chaos is business as usual for the Rakdos. So yeah, lots going on. There's the usual sort of planning and building and what have you, worship services of Rakdos himself. And it seems like the place is buzzing. It's a hive of activity, probably busier than you've seen it in a long time. And when you arrive, I think that you're greeted by there are several people who maybe you're passingly familiar with, who see you and are like, "Hey, Torgor," and like, "Good to see you again. I heard you're working on something special, right? Word's getting out that you've got something big coming up. I want to get involved," right? People start like weirdly just start coming up and like sucking up to you, being like, "So you got any room in your cast for this new big thing? I heard it's going to be something." And apparently word has gotten out that you're going to get a meeting with Rakdos himself, that you're going to be given an opportunity to present this play. And now everybody's real excited about it. So there's a lot of very excited juggalos coming up to you and being like, "Yeah, let me in. I got all these skills. Let me show you." Like, yeah.
Oh, no,
so
no. Trust me, we got plenty of flame jugglers already. Thank you.
Yeah. So after turning back all the unicycle chainsaw jugglers and what have you, you make your way back to the little like meeting room or workroom that you've been given in Rixmati, one of the chambers. And I assume you call together your writing team, get back to work. Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, we've got a couple of notes and edits, and I start like implementing the ones that I talked to the team about, and sort of like those changes.
Okay. Yeah. Let's have you roll and see how your play is doing.
All right. Big money. It's got can I use my inspiration to make it a 17?
Yeah. I mean, technically you're supposed to do that before you roll, but it's okay if you wanted to use inspiration. I'm okay with that.
Did.
Okay. All right. So 17. Let me make a note. All right. You're making progress. Everybody is. They're a little rusty, and I think some of them thought you were dead because you were gone for a while, and so you have to start with a bunch of rewrites because they've carried on without you and really changed the plot of the play. Yeah.
What did I tell you? Balsamic is not supposed to be red. He's green. Come on.
Right. Yeah, and they're you spend that first time kind of like bringing them back and like doing all this stuff. And you're making some progress. Is there anything else you want to do while you're in Rixmati?
I would want to check in with Judith and like sort of hear from her about where things are looking for the performance, because I've heard a lot of things from people on the street, and I don't know if I can verify that Rakdos himself will be up that sort of.
Yeah.
Now I've got something to question about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when you, cause she's here, this is, Judith has pretty much like, she used to have like a traveling like Rakdos like show that she did, but she's suspended it because there's like apparently more important stuff going on at Rixmati. She's been kind of called home. And so you can find her here pretty much all the time. And you go to her chambers, and she is, she's very busy meeting with people, but when you arrive and you kind of let her assistant know, that you're here, you get bumped to the front of the list, and her, the other people that are waiting to see her, you get a lot of angry looks, right? A lot of like, "What the hell? I've been waiting here for 3 hours. And this guy just gets to walk past." And so a lot of people are grumbling and yeah.
Make my way straight up. And it's like, honestly, I blocked 45 minutes just to wait. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're brought in, and you see Judith, and she's in her like throne, and she has her little like servants there. And when you come in, she looks up and she smiles, and she says, "Torgor, it's nice to see you again."
As well, mistress.
Your name's been traveling. Everyone's very excited about your work. How's it coming along?
Wouldn't want to ruin the surprise, but it's going well.
I hope so. for both our sakes, I've convinced the master to witness this little exercise of yours. And if he's not impressed, it's both of our heads on the... Speaking of which, I have something for you. And she turns to one of her servants and is like, go on, go get it. And her servants are all like exclusively extremely buff, well-oiled men. They're like just, huge beefcake dudes. And
bless.
so, and they all, so one of them, they all look like, Fabio. And so one of them gets up and he bows and he says, yes, mistress, of course. And he runs off and he comes back and he's holding a box. And the box is, I don't know, like a couple of feet, like maybe 3 feet on a side. And it has a crank on the side and it's painted in that kind of Harlequin diamonds, the like red and black diamonds. And he brings it out and presents it to Judith. And she says, it's not for me, you idiot. And she points to you. And he's like, yes, mistress, I'm so sorry, mistress. Of course, mistress. And he turns and he presents this box to you. And if you look up, Judith is just like, she's got her fingers steepled and she's grinning at you, waiting for you to unveil the surprise.
A gift for me?
And she
Our
nods.
anniversary isn't months from now.
And she chuckles and she says, well, I was thinking about something you said in our last conversation. Go ahead.
I start to
Yeah.
a little bit.
And so you start triggering, and then as expected, all of a sudden it pops open, and on a spring, right, ejects from the box, and on the end of the spring is a severed head. It is a human head that's been hacked off roughly at the neck. It's wearing a jester's cap, black and red jester's cap, and when you see the face, eyes wide, mouth hanging open, it's kerfuffle. It's kerfuffle's severed head. And it pops out of the box on this spring and slowly kind of like goes. And she's just waiting to see your reaction. What do you do when you see that?
This is beautiful. Oh my goodness. You even sewed the cap into the scalp so it won't remove. Tell me about it. Was it painful? Was it honestly, the only thing I could say, I'm a little jealous I wasn't there, but the presentation of thank you. I should have gotten you something. I don't have anything for you. Oh my goodness.
And she puts her hand up and she says, oh, darling, you don't have to get me anything. Just don't fail me in front of Rakdos. You understand?
Oh. Failure was never an option, mistress.
And she nods. I'm glad we understand one another.
It's impossible for me to ship this harder.
Yeah.
Into this. I'm like really invested. I'm sorry, please.
Yeah, some of the beefcakes around Judith kind of look up at you jealously, but not in like an angry, maybe not jealous. Like they're looking at you in a way of like you've just been given a gift and they would love it for themselves, but they're really just happy for you, right? So there's a lot of like kind of looks and like smiling and like, congratulations, Torgor, she likes you, but be careful. And so, yeah, when you say that, right, you're like, I understand, mistress. She says, good. I knew I liked you. I see a future for you, Torgor. You're going to be very, very big, provided you can survive this meeting with Rakdos. Now, I understand you have a creative process, and I won't ask to see the script before it's done, but I want you to know that if there's anything at all that you need, literally anything, I want you to know that I can get it for you. I want you to be successful, you understand?
Well, thank you. And I would never impose on you in any way, mistress, but now seeing how there's a troop with no leader, and I hold up the spring box,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to bring on some talent whose working styles I know.
She
and
nods.
Incorporate them into the fold of the production.
Yeah, and she nods and she says, of course. Anything at all. They're all yours.
We can discuss the rest this evening later.
Hey, she raises an eyebrow.
And
Emily.
also for breakfast.
Dude, you shot, boy.
Judith, how do you feel about beef for dinner?
Oh no.
Screenshot now, Katie. Right now.
Yeah, so yeah, she raises an eyebrow, and you feel a chill run up your spine in the same way that you might feel were you standing at the edge of a very, very long drop with no railing, right? Where you're like, yes, I'm staring into the face of death just this moment. So yeah, she's just this tiny raise of her eyebrow, like, you going to explain that remark?
Well, I mean, I haven't made dinner plans yet, and I imagine one as yourself must also eat. And we can discuss the rest of the terms of the production in more intimate details without praying eyes and ears.
I would love to see you make a persuade check here.
I think that's about right. As there was like,
want a critical fail.
Yes.
Either
way.
I want to see Judith and the Rose fight.
Damn, I kind of wish I had
Right
saved
now.
my inspiration. That's fine.
Right?
It's okay. And here we go.
Here we go.
Believe in you.
Big rolls.
Hey,
Not bad. 19's pretty damn good. Okay.
Big money, big money.
So she grins slightly and her eyebrow lowers and she says, yes, I suppose I could see clear to us having a meal together. I would love to hear more about your project, but and she looks at you. She says, aren't you busy with work? Shouldn't you be writing?
I trust the process. It's coming together. And I needed to make sure that what I'd heard from the street was accurate. So many rumors, so many, how we can say it, folks looking to chop us at their legs, wanted to confirm the good news.
And she nods and she says, I've noticed this as well. Things are coming apart. And for the other guilds, this could be a problem, but not for us. Chaos is an opportunity.
Yes.
I have other people I need to meet with, Torgor, but this evening, my apartment, say 9 o'clock.
It's a little late for dinner, but that's fine.
And she grins and she says, I'm very, very busy. I'll have one of my assistants send along a appropriate wardrobe for you. I'm not having dinner with you dressed like that.
Whatever you say, mistress.
Oh.
And so she doesn't even lift her arm off of the armrest, but just with her fingers, she just kind of makes this gesture like, you can go now.
Mm-hmm. Bow, backpedal out.
Okay. Yeah. So you leave to the just burning envy of her manservants, right? They all look at you like, oh, he's so lucky. And so you leave.
Door closes.
Yeah.
Walk out of the office into the street. Oh God! Oh God! Oh, every moment is terrifying, but I can't stop. Oh God!
Yeah, right. Clinging to the railing, just taking huge gasping breaths of panic.
Yeah.
You just come face to face with death. Yeah. So you hear a chuckle, and when you turn, and I assume you're still holding the box with Kerfuffle's head in it.
It's popping out. It's just like dangling.
Yeah. So you turn and you see a Rakdos, you're not sure what his job is, but he's dressed in Rakdos color and he has the sort of like Harlequin like collar, and he's chuckling and he says it's like, oh, don't worry, Torgor, happens to everybody. The first time I met with her, I nearly passed out in the room. I'm one of Judith's assistants. I understand you're going to be having dinner with her this evening. I have some protocol to walk through with you. Do you have a moment?
Only if you swear on your life that you don't repeat what you just saw to anyone, please.
And he shakes his head and he says, unlike most of the people around here, discretion is an important part of my job.
Oh, wonderful. Yes.
Now, if you'll come with me, I have some measurements to take and we need to discuss the rules.
Can I meet you after I check in with my riders?
And he shakes his head. I'm afraid we do need to get started right away.
All right. Then I need an imp to send my edits as we travel.
Of course, sir. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so Judas Majordomo takes you to a like a private room and gets you to like just measures your inseam and your waist and your hips and measuring you for an outfit for dinner tonight, and basically just walks you through the protocol of the protocol of being alone with Judith, right? Like when it is and isn't appropriate to make eye contact, right? Never touch her without her permission. Don't stand up unless she stands up first. Like she has some very, very specific behavioral protocols that if you're going to go on a date with Judith, this is what you must do. And part of it is him kind of warning you of like, okay, so you need to know what to be ready for. She's very particular. And I'm kind of feeling like the vibe around Judith is, what's the actress from The Devil Wears Prada?
Oh,
right.
Meryl Streep?
Yeah, Meryl Streep, but a juggalo. So she's like hell juggalo Meryl Streep. Yeah,
a violent mental image.
Right. Yes, I am here to destroy your mind. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? This is the assistant being like, if you don't, and there's a lot of this in Rakdos where like Judith just did this with you, where she's like, don't embarrass me in front of Rakdos. And now the Majordomo is like, unless you want to die horribly, which some people do, unless you want to die horribly in a great deal of pain, this is what you need to do. Don't embarrass me in front of Judith, because if she kills you, she's going to kill me too, and then get another one of me. So yeah, it's as much watching his own back as it is preparing you for yours. And then after a while of this, after you've gotten the rules kind of given to you, he says, well, that should be all. You can expect wardrobe to deliver something to your office within the next few hours. I'll have everyone get to work on the outfit right away.
Thank you. And what was her name again?
Yeah, and he shakes his head and he says, the mistress hasn't deigned to give me one yet.
Oh boy.
Oh,
I'm gonna
sweet baby.
I'll just call you Carl. Well, Carl, thank you so much. You've been great.
Of course,
And,
sir.
Give my love to Carl Jr., huh? Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's the show, everybody. Thanks for coming. Jace Beleren Must Die. Remember when it was funny? So, we're gonna take a quick break right here, and when we get back, we'll see what Tack's up to in the belly of the beast. Don't go anywhere. More Jace Beleren Must Die right after this.